So the Bitcoin window is still open, but not for long. And so in this video, I really just want to implore you to double down on wherever it is that you are on your Bitcoin journey. You know, and if you've listened to some of my videos before, you'll probably know that I'm a massive advocate for what I often refer to as the 3 pillars of Bitcoin success. Number one is you've got to study. You have to study. You have to do some fundamental learning about what Bitcoin is before you can actually embrace it. If you want to stay here for the long, term and really benefit from everything that Bitcoin has to offer, I truly believe that the foundation of that and the genesis of your success is going to be the extent to which you've read some books, you've listened to some long-form podcasts, you've joined a coaching community or had a session with somebody like me who's been in Bitcoin for a while, or somebody else, but just being able to really encapsulate in a pretty quick fire format the essence of Bitcoin and the fundamentals of Bitcoin, I think are crucial for anybody coming into this space. Okay, so I often say number one is to study. Pillar number 2 is to stack. Okay, in Bitcoin there's a saying, just stack sats. But I would never tell anybody to go and just stack sats until they've first studied. All right, because what I've seen too many times, and I guess I've had the benefit of consulting with hundreds of people now from all walks of life, so I've had deep conversations with people who have made this mistake, who have come into Bitcoin to stack before they've studied, okay, and they've done the study later, and they've realized that they should have done that first because they'd be in a far better position now. But the thing is, stacking is all about your conviction, okay? When you stack, when you step up to the plate to buy Bitcoin, what you're actually doing is you are staking your claim in the future. Every single Satoshi that you buy and that you hold is your claim on the future of money. I truly believe that. And when you come into Bitcoin with that mindset, when you come to stack Satoshis, basically what's happening there is you are locking down every single Satoshi that you possibly can with a long-term view. Kind of like the way back in the day when we were kids, when we used to have a piggy bank and we used to kind of treasure it, kind of with our life, I guess, a little bit. Every time we got another 5 cents or 10 cents and we were able to put it into our piggy bank, we kind of felt like that was us building for the future, right? Something, it might have been to save up for something that we really wanted as a kid, but you get the point, right? And with Bitcoin, every time you stack sats, okay, it could be $100 worth of Satoshis. There's something that happens inside of you when you really understand Bitcoin that just makes you feel damn good about the future. All right. So stacking, it's all about execution, taking action. It's no good just learning and listening and absorbing and consuming if you don't take action. Okay. The world only comes to those not who have the knowledge, but who actually execute, right? So get the knowledge, but just get enough to know that this is the place to be, and then execute, start stacking. And then number three in all of this is to make sure that you don't lose your Bitcoin. And that's why number 3 is to secure your Bitcoin. Secure your Bitcoin in self-custody, to be specific. Now, there are other ways to hold Bitcoin, but if you value financial autonomy and sovereignty and financial empowerment and, protecting your freedoms and all of that, and you want to be extremely nimble and portable in a changing world, then in my view, the best way to achieve that is to hold your Bitcoin in self-custody, where you ultimately are the custodian of your own Bitcoin. You hold the keys to your Bitcoin, nobody else. So you've got to study, you've got to stack, and you've got to secure. So those are the 3 pillars. Now, I believe that in a few short years from now, we're going to look back at this time, with Bitcoin hovering around 75,000 US dollars, about 105,000 Australian, and we're going to shake our head. I think in a few years' time, we're going to look back at this, let's say by the year 2030, and we're going to say to ourselves, that was the time. That was the time. With all of this chaos unfolding in the world and Bitcoin just plodding along at this level, we're going to realize that that was the time to stack as hard as we possibly could. That was the time to transform the outlook for our financial life. That was the time to set ourselves up to create generational wealth for ourselves and our families. That was the time. Because that time, and I'm talking about today, we had clarity. We could see the problems in the world. They're unavoidable. I mean, you can't unsee what's going on if you're paying any kind of attention. Clarity about what Bitcoin represents and what it's here to do, and a point of entry or a cost of admission, if you like, that is, on a risk-adjusted basis is an absolute steal. An absolute steal. When I first came into Bitcoin, we had no idea what the future would look like. I mean, Bitcoin sounded good, and the fundamentals of the protocol have never changed. And TikTok next block, every 10 minutes there's more Bitcoin mined, and all of those basic fundamentals. But we didn't have that kind of mainstream clarity that we do now. We didn't have the SEC grant the ETF, which it did in January 2024, so that BlackRock could start buying Bitcoin. And we didn't have Michael Saylor becoming, the world's first, Bitcoin corporate treasury company. And, I think yesterday, they just deployed another 2.54 billion US dollars to acquire another 34,000 Bitcoin. So now they're the entire stake that Strategy has on their balance sheet is 815,000 Bitcoin. So there's no doubt they're going to get to 1 million Bitcoin. They'll own 5% of the total supply that they'll ever be. They'll probably end up becoming the world's first Bitcoin bank. I mean, Michael Saylor, openly shares that, their purpose is to be an issuer of digital credit. So, it's fascinating to see this happening where you've got really smart people in high places who understand this, and they're just leaning in and doubling down right now. And then you've got equally smart people in other places who are completely dismissing this and have no idea what this is. So, interesting times, but in my mind, Bitcoin is not risky now. The real risk is owning no Bitcoin. And this is why I often say, the only wrong amount of Bitcoin to own is zero. So long as you're off zero and you're progressing, you're on the right track here. Okay, you're on the right track here, particularly if you're, following the 3-pillar rule. You're studying, you're stacking, and you're securing your Bitcoin. The other point I want to make here is that, there are still a lot of people that I'm talking to who are fairly new to Bitcoin, and they kind of get themselves in a little bit of a tiz when it comes to, how much Bitcoin should I buy? What's a, good place to start here? And, the reality of that is that there's no straight answer that is a one-size-fits-all, but what I will say is that when I first came into Bitcoin, it was all about nice round numbers, okay? Be it 0.1 Bitcoin or half a Bitcoin or get to 1 Bitcoin by hook or by crook, okay? And, some people come into Bitcoin and they just go, bang, smash buy, I'm sitting on shitloads of capital, and they go and buy 10 Bitcoin, okay? It's rare, but there are people who do that. And, I've met with several people who are in that boat. But then there are those who just want to dip their toe in the water and ease their way in. And this is certainly what I recommend, particularly new people coming into this space. My philosophy in this is to start low and grow, okay? Because I want you to understand the process of stacking Bitcoin, setting up an account, funding your account on a brokerage such as Stormrake. And I always recommend a full service brokerage when you're getting started, because you've got somebody to hold your hand every step of the way. okay? White glove service, and you get coached every step of the way to making it happen. Now, once you have your Bitcoin inside your account sitting on their platform, okay, the final step is to secure it into your own self-custodial wallet, okay? And they even help you to get that done, okay? They'll never send you all of your Bitcoin to a wallet address that you provide them. They'll send you a small amount so that you can verify that it's arrived in your wallet. And once it's arrived, then they'll send the balance. And so it's such a reassuring process when you're dealing with somebody like that, because you certainly won't get that with an online exchange. But anyway, I digress here. Really, I want to just, remind you that if you have targets in Bitcoin, those targets are going to change over time, okay? But what I will say is that, I still believe that a really good first base milestone for most people coming into Bitcoin is to get themselves to 0.1 Bitcoin, 10% of a Bitcoin, right? Now, that's 100, there's 100 million Satoshis per Bitcoin. So if you're buying 0.1, that's 10%. So you're essentially securing 10 million Satoshis, okay? 10 million Satoshis. Now, right now, because Bitcoin's price is sitting at around 75,000 US dollars, that's 10%, 7,500 USD, which is around about, 10 to 11,000 Australian. And so most people who, certainly in their middle years, if they put their mind to this, they can set themselves up with 0.1 Bitcoin without too much trouble. I really believe that. Now, I know that 10 grand for a lot of people these days is not small change, but I'm just saying that if you really put your mind to this and you realize how important this is, do you think you'll be able to do it, right? If you prioritize this, and I think you know the answer to that. And so I still believe that 0.1 is a great first base, and then I would say, 0.21 Bitcoin is a really elite milestone. I think it will be in the future. A lot of mathematics have been done on this to suggest that owning 0.21 Bitcoin is going to put you in the top 1 to 1.25% of global Bitcoin owners as this really starts to gain adoption around the world. And then I would say beyond that, if you want to be in a generational wealth sphere, then I would say, as the Bitcoin wealth ladder declares that I spoke about the other day, getting to 1 Bitcoin is still, in my view, the ultimate. Now, if you've got the ability to get to 1 Bitcoin and keep going, get to 2, 3, 5, 10 Bitcoin, then, God bless you. I mean, the more you can stack, the better off you're going to be. And the compounding effects of being stored in a form of money that is incorruptible, right, where there is no inflation, and it has a finite supply, and the stakeholding that you're going to have in that monetary technology, I mean, you can't put a price on that. You just can't put a price on that. And as the world starts to fall apart more and more, and the only way that they're able to continue to prop the system up is by creating more currency and more debt, which is their playbook. I mean, that's the only way that it can happen. Then Bitcoin is going to be the ultimate liquidity sponge, because Bitcoin is the only form of money that is truly finite. And so this is why in periods of high liquidity, when the money printer gets turned on, Bitcoin invariably absolutely decimates the performance of every other asset class, because it is the most finite and most scarce monetary asset. And so in a world where inflation is only going to get worse and currency is going to continue to be printed, okay, you've got to realize that storing your value in Bitcoin is going to be a superpower if you're doing this the right way. So the world's going to wake up to this. How long it takes is anybody's guess, but I think we're starting to see the little trigger points starting to show up now, be it geopolitically, be it in terms of the debt-based system and how it's showing all of the signs of reaching the end of its useful life, the status of debt at a national level among governments, the situation with taxation, which is just getting out of control. There's so many things. AI coming that is going to be so disruptive to the labour market in many, many professions. And just think about, too, what that's going to do to the tax base when you've got computers and humanoids and robots and stuff that are taking the jobs that are currently held by the labour force that are paying taxes and superannuation and all of that. And just imagine a world where so much of that no longer exists, and what that's going to mean to governments who are no longer collecting the taxation that they once could. And of course, the way around that is for them to create even more inflation, because that's what inflation is. It's taxation without legislation. It's a different form of taxation. And so, a little bit gloomy when you think about all of this if you're not in Bitcoin. And certainly if you're not going to be using AI to your advantage to become more profitable and more efficient and to add more value to the world. If you're on the right side of this, you're going to win. If you're not, I don't like the look of the future ahead. So I'm going to leave it there today. The Bitcoin window is still open, but it is going to close very, very soon. Now, if I can help you, guide you, if you want to set up a personal one-on-one call with me, you'll see a link below. I also have a private mentorship group called my Bitcoin Success Circle. It's a growing community of like-minded people who are on this Bitcoin path. And we get together once a month on Zoom. You get coaching from me. We have a 6-module pre-recorded training you'll have access to inside our portal. We have a really vibrant chat group. There's a lot of activity inside that group every single day: questions, support, empowerment, articles, resources, you name it. You'll see a link for that below if you're interested in that as well. And I'm about to jump on a plane to the US, and I'll be coming to you from Las Vegas, and then of course the conference starts next week, and I'll be keeping you updated throughout that journey. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment below. Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Zane signing out.
Alright, since you made it this far in the video, I want to quickly share 3 resources with you that can really help you on your Bitcoin journey. Number 1, buying Bitcoin. I personally recommend Stormrake. They are a full-service brokerage based in Melbourne. They'll help you to set up your account, to buy your Bitcoin at the best possible price, and even to withdraw your Bitcoin into your own private wallet when you're ready to do that. To open an account with Stormrake, you'll see a link below, and one of the team will contact you. Secondly, securing your Bitcoin. If you're ready to take full self-custody of your Bitcoin, I personally recommend that you set up a free 30-minute call with the world experts at the Bitcoin Way. I'm a private client of the Bitcoin Way. I highly recommend their services. Again, book a free 30-minute call. You'll see a link below for that. And just finally, if you would like my personal guidance, I offer 2 services: my one-on-one coaching calls on Zoom. I'll answer your questions. We'll talk about strategy, everything that is personalized for you and what you need in Bitcoin. And I also have a private mentorship group called my Bitcoin Success Circle, a growing community of like-minded people, a great way to stay connected and to stay on track. And there's a link below for that as well.